Hi guys, welcome to my channel Practical Reefer. Just a quick review today on the All Pond Solutions 600 HO hang-on back filter. These are £12 on the All Pond Solutions website direct. You can also get a bit of a discount at certain times. Quite often they can have them as 10% off deals on their website, so something to have a think about. I waited a little while and I got loads of stuff from them at 10%. So it's a 600 litre per hour pump. It comes with a foam sponge and a carbon pad, hang-on tank. It has a surface skimmer option, and it's a trickle waterfall that come out the front. I'm going to be using this for a 20-gallon marine tank setup. I'm actually going to be using two of them. Quite strange, I'm just noticing they've got a clownfish, a tang and a cardinal on the front. It's not specifically for marine, but they certainly seem to think it is as well. It's an 8-watt pump. It's 230mm wide, 130mm front to back, so the part that overhangs the tank and goes further over the back of the tank, and it's 300mm deep, so from the top of the filter down to the bottom of the pipe with all the extensions and stuff. On the site it does state that it's for a maximum aquarium size 120 litres. I'm going to be using it for a 20-gallon, which is 90 litres, but I'm also going to be using two of them because they are quite a good filter, but you know, they're only £12. They're not absolutely amazing, although for the money I think they are. So they come here with they've got two pads, so this has got some filter floss on it and some carbon. Don't imagine that lasting a huge length of time, and to be fair, I've bought a rather large roll of filter floss to replace that in future, although they are fairly cheap if you want just something cheap and cheerful. The instructions there cover both this filter and the two slightly smaller versions. There's nothing huge in there that just tells you the wattages of the pumps and all the different parts, but they are very similar, and it's not difficult to put these together. They do come double boxed, as we've seen earlier. There's an outer box and an inner, so they're reasonably well packaged. Pop them to the side. So in here is the main body of the pump and the filter. Just take that off there. So I mean, it's £12, but it's a decent quality. You've got your lid there. I've had this open briefly and just thrown all these parts back in. So that's the bottom of the filter there, or the intake tube. There's a slight extension. This is part for the surface skimmer, and this part here is the actual surface skimmer itself. So the pads that come with there, you've got the sponges. One thing that I struggled to find online, which I'm quite interested about, is the size of these sponges, if I need to replace them or if I want to put other things in the media basket. So you'll see there that you're just shy of 135mm on the sponge, on the height, and then the depth of the sponge is about 45mm. So if you did want to replace that, 135 by 45, or if you wanted an idea of the volume of the sponge, if you're going to replace it with some other media. What I would say as well is I'm probably going to replace this with a bit extra sponge. The depth of the actual compartment is just shy of 70mm, and the width of it, again, just shy of 70mm, and then the actual height there up to where the sponge would come is just below 140mm. So if you had an idea of what you want to fill that with, I've got some slightly different plans. I'll probably repurpose these sponges. Again, even with the sponges in, I'll pop in one of these. So this is the carbon pads that come with it. I'm guessing you've got an option if you want to put a second pad of some sort. They must have maybe a phosphate pad or something, because you could put in a second one in there with the sponge. That stuff. You do have a slight gap at the back, so the water still does flow through there. So one of my things is I do want to ram this full as much sponge and media as possible, but the idea is to keep that backflow there, let the water get through and come through all of the sponge and in the filter floss. So let me just pull them out, and I'll show you there as well. This piece does come off. That's your piece there, so that can be cleaned and taken off, but that's your impeller at the bottom. What it's doing there, you can see when that's on top, water's thrown out to the side, and obviously then it's sucked through the tube. Let's see if I can get this on without causing chaos. There we go. And then you've also got here this adjustment, so you can close it off or have it on full flow. And then coming on to here, you have here your surface skimmer. So this just floats, so it can raise with the water level. I might have put the extension piece in the wrong place, it might swap that around, so it probably does sit about there. And then this can go in the bottom. So that's the full kit there, so this comes into the aquarium. What I may do is either use this sponge or something else as a pre-filter, and then I plan to use pond sponges, filter sponges, which I've got here. So there's a coarse, medium and a fine, and I'll flip these over and do something like this. So you can see there, the plan is to have these tucked in neatly, and then just so there's enough that the water can still flow at the back across the dimples, so that you're not blocking the flow, because if you ram this full of sponge and this gets filled up, you're just going to end up with, you know, a clogged filter, and it's going to overflow back out here, which I believe this is what that does. But I'd rather that the water could flow all the way behind through these 3 different sponges, and then also a thin layer of filter floss in the front. So I've bought a massive, it's like a couple of meters of filter floss for a few pound on eBay. So that's the plan with these. They're up for a 120 litre aquarium, but I've got 2 of these. So technically I could do 240 litres, but they're always kind of overestimating. And it gives me a bit of redundancy as well if anything ever did go wrong with them. But as far as I know, they're good quality and don't see any problems with it. But I thought those dimensions would be quite good for you guys, just to see what these chambers are, because that was one thing I was trying to find out online, but I struggled to. But thanks very much, guys. Thanks for listening, and give me a like and subscribe below. Cheers. Bye now.